For decades, the Dodge Charger has been the automotive equivalent of a bar fight. Loud, angry, and almost certainly covered in questionable tattoos. This is the brand new electric 2026 four-door Dodge Charger Daytona. Yes, it's electric. The muscle car that once shook windows now shakes absolutely nothing, except maybe the US power grid. So today I'm going to test it and see if it really is a muscle car. So Dodge says that this is a muscle car, but it's going to have to persuade me that that's the case. But at the back, it's got these wide hips to accommodate these very large tires. So this one gets 20-inch wheels as standard, and they're wearing these summer tires. They're optional. They're Goodyear Eagle F1s, pretty good summer tire. And then on the back, they're 325/35s. On the front, they're 305/35s. 6-piston Brembos here and 4 pistons at the back. So it's got these fairly angry looking headlights. They're sort of embedded below this sort of spoiler-like item. So if you look from the top, you'll see that it helps feed air over the hood. And then of course there's a horizontal light bar, which is pretty common these days as well. But what's missing is an angry V8, which is what most muscle car people actually want. We'll go into the details of what's under here in a moment. But I think the most important part is what's missing is noise. Because let's face it, most EVs sound about as good as a ceiling fan, and they're generally quieter than a church mouse. But Dodge has introduced its Fratzonic Exhaust system, which is probably just a longer word for the word fake, but it is basically fake, using pipes and chambers to pump not only noise into the cabin, but to the exterior. So how does that work exactly? Well, if you click on app settings here, you'll notice stealth and drive theme. Hit drive theme, makes kind of a weird whirring noise. Go back into drive modes, select sport, and then simply rev the engine. All right, and from the outside, I'm not 100% convinced. It sounds okay, but it definitely sounds fake. It's like a vegan trying to make vegetables taste like meat. So this four-door version of the Charger is brand new for this year. This is a 2026 model. So really that's the only difference between this one and the two-door Charger that came out last year. So it's got an Achilles heel, and that's its charging and range. Charging not so bad, range pretty poor. It has a 94 kilowatt battery, which is pretty big, but it's got to haul around 3 tons of mass. So you only get, according to the EPA, 233 miles of range. But more bad news, if it's wearing these summer tires, it gets around 216 miles of range, which is pretty poor these days. Charging speeds are mid-pack. 183 kilowatt max charging rate, not too bad from a 400 volt architecture. It should have been 800. It isn't. So it's slower than a Tesla and quicker than a Mach-E. Takes around 27 minutes to go from 20 to 80%. So the good news under here is that you do get a frunk. It's got about 1.5 cubic feet of capacity. Quite a decent size. Kind of sits in the middle, so it's a bit of a reach to get stuff in. Other good news, horsepower. It's got 2 335 horsepower permanent magnet motors, 670 combined, 627 foot-pounds of torque. Good enough to get this from 60 in 3.3 seconds, and the quarter mile in 11.7. So one of the better decisions that Dodge made was to make this a hatchback. We know that they're more practical. Simply hit this button here. And then in here you get a generous 23 cubic feet of space. You can put those seats down. That gives you 37 cubic feet of space in total. So how much is it? Well, base prices start at $61,995, which isn't bad, but this one is absolutely loaded. It comes with the track package. Not sure why you'd ever take this car on a track, But if you do, it'll cost you $4,495 to do so. You got the adaptive suspension, you've got the red Brembo calipers, and the Brembo brakes included in that package. This full glass roof with an Alpine speaker system is in the Sea and Sound package for $2,495. And for $795, you get the ludicrous paint. And then for another $1,495, you get the performance seats with the Alcantara seat coverings. Add it all up, and you get a total price of over $81,000. So being four-door massively improves practicality. Plus, there's an enormous amount of room in the back, and these seats are actually decently comfortable. They're heated, you've got power, and you've got air for the days when it gets a little bit too hot. Downside is it's got this enormous and heavy glass roof with no cover. So I can see now the sun is shining right down through it. It's kind of annoying. So given that it's so big outside, you would expect it to be very spacious inside, and it is very spacious for 4 adults. I'm really small, so I fit in here really well. These seats are really nice, multi-way power, grippy Alcantara, nice leather steering wheel, lopped off at the bottom and the top, but you can still see the instruments. So this one has a 16-inch instrument cluster screen ahead of the driver, configurable, and then a 12.3-inch infotainment canted towards the driver. I think this is much better than the huge tablet style that you get in the Ram trucks. I like the design features, I like the dash. For the most part, mostly well built, no real scratchy plastics. Now the infotainment runs Uconnect, which is pretty good. You can go into comfort settings, you've got heated and cooled front seats. Of course, below that you get some physical controls. On the steering wheel, you get the drive mode button, which gives you drag, which turns off the traction control. Gives you track, sport, get a lap timer, auto, which I had it on the way here, wet snow, I don't know why you'd ever want to go in the snow, and then you can customize this as well. And you can go custom setup. So propulsion is in sport, paddle shifters are on, traction is in street or sport, suspension sport, steering is in sport. Let's put suspension in sport and then traction in sport. What the hell? And that would take me to custom setups. If I go off in custom, I've got 149 miles to play with. Kind of as with the exterior, the designers have worked to sort of mimic the style and feel of the original 68 Charger. So you get this sort of more modern interpretation of the pistol grip shifter. Down here you've got a launch control, you've got traction control off, lane departure, a couple of USBs, and a nice spot for your phone. And then there's another button here on the wheel called Power Shot, and it gives you an extra 40 horsepower for about 10 to 15 seconds for what Dodge say is more rapid acceleration. This thing is already quick. I don't think there's really any need to press that, but we'll see how it goes when we start driving. Right, so we're ready for a drive. I've activated custom mode. I did the settings earlier. So the suspension is in its sportiest mode. I came up here in eco mode, felt quite compliant, but now the steering feels quite firm. Shoves your head back in the seat. Definitely feels quick. Doesn't feel massively quick. And it does feel big. But it's definitely got a ton of power. But it isn't that shove in the back kind of power you got with an Audi e-tron GT RS Performance or a Tesla Plaid. It is a surge of power that you definitely feel, but it isn't massively quick. Steering is actually very good. Starting to feel, it's so big. Wow. It's a really tight set of turns here. But you know what? It hangs on. I mean, with 325s on the rear, in the dry on a warm day, it'll be tough to break traction. Turn-in is really good though. Obviously it is all-wheel drive, so all four wheels are getting all that power, 670 horsepower. Yeah, I'm not feeling any kind of muscle car vibes. Maybe we should put the noise on a little, just for giggles, and see. Okay. It's on. Here we go. Yeah, it definitely sounds kind of an electronic whirring noise. It probably sounds better from the outside. But I can hustle this thing through these turns, and it is not complaining. But I just can't call it a fun car to drive on this kind of road. It doesn't feel particularly fun. This is not doing it for me, Dodge. Give me a V8 or a twin turbo 6-pack. We'll hopefully drive one of those soon. But this one is not my cup of tea. Just being fast is simply not enough. So what do we think? Well, the four-door Dodge Charger EV is surprisingly bold. I think it looks great. It's very large and weighs quite a lot. It does suffer from a range issue. It definitely needs to do at least 300 miles of range, certainly when comparing it with its competitors. Is it a track car? No. Is it a muscle car? Absolutely not, because that Fratzonic engine noise doesn't really work for me. Anyway, once again, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Like, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time with another video.